Hello, Matt here. If you were following from the last time I did one of these videos, you'll see that I have a different microphone this time. That does not mean it is further away from my keyboard in relation to its position to my face. My keyboard is still closer than my face. You'll hear that louder, but there's not much I can do about that. So, yeah, I wanted to go over the project file for Ruins this time. I'll probably do this more often. I'm not sure I'll do it with every song, but I'm thinking of doing it with Ruins and In the Dark at least, because those are the actually two complicated ones from the EP. And I'll start from working the inside out, as in, like, drop, build up, intro. Actually, I think I did drop, intro, build up, bridge, second drop, and then just copied it over, except changed one thing. That's what I was feeling there. So I have some of the older exports here. You can see I'm extremely organized with my file names. But I believe, yeah, it started out, I think that's the first one. Anyway. Yeah, you'll hear there's a lot of different things going on, but the main bass is a lot more dry. So, yeah. I'll start with the drums. As I did with a lot of my older songs, specifically before Ambush, cymatics drums. In terms of actual processing, I'll turn it off first so that we can hear it sounds like alone. The kick just didn't hit and the snare wasn't wide enough, so I EQ'd out the kick. Mainly, I want there to be more low end, and I didn't want there to be as much mid, but because of the low end, it was drowning out the high end, so I wanted there to be more high end, so I added it back in. Then I distorted it, because I do that with all of my kicks. Not a lot of distortion, but it adds a little bit of flavor. In fact, you can see it here. It's slight. Then I add an OTT, because not sure why I OTT'd the kick, but I guess it made it sound better. It did. It added a lot of clarity. And then I just EQ'd out the sub. Why did I EQ out the sub on the kick? That's supposed to occupy the sub. Alright, well I did that. Then the snare. Okay, this one has a little more processing. So you'll notice some similarities here. We have an EQ. Okay, so I wanted the fundamental of it to stick out a lot, so I toned down the high end, which is the stuff that would drown it out. Then I distorted the tone a ton. And then I compressed it again, because. And then I think I meant to do a mid-side EQ, but I didn't. Something happened there. So anyway, we got reverb. And then the next patcher. Oh yeah, okay, this is the mid-side EQ. So here on the, I think this is the mid. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it's both. I'm not sure. Anyway, so one I EQ'd out the middle, and then the other I still EQ'd out the middle, but differently. So we have the, and then, which I guess made it sound better. And then this Maximus essentially just brings out the mids, and that's about it really. And then I EQ it again. This time I cut out a lot of the low end. So the snare on its own sounds really bad, but I guess that's to be expected or something. The next thing I'm gonna go over, I guess, would be the main bass, or I guess the growlier one. So, okay, 11. There's a lot of processing here. Without any of that, it sounds really, really dumb. So, again, going back to just the very beginning, it's one of the stock serum wavetables with a filter on it, specifically high pass and peak, and I have it do a little very common vowel, and then, well, without anything, it's just this. And then I distort it a bunch, and then I compress it, and then I EQ it. So the distortion, just put distortion on everything. Same with the compression, really. It just glues it all together more, which is what everyone says. I have no idea what OTT actually does, but it works. So, I don't think anyone knows what OTT does, but that doesn't matter. And then the EQ, I want to take some of the low end out so that when I distort it again and compress it and stuff, the high end is more audible. That's the word. Compression again, because compression. And then, oh yeah, this is the part where it actually gets like the full growliness to it. You can see beforehand, I'm modulating bandwidth and the male and female part of the vocodex. Again, I'll go over that in a moment. So the bandwidth, the way vocodex works is it splits your sound into a bunch of bands, specifically in this case 17, depending on their frequency, and it boosts the volume. I guess it like averages out the volume or something. I'm not entirely sure how it works. Don't ask me. And don't quote me on any of this. But then the bandwidth makes it so I think it cuts some of the frequencies out, like in between the bands. If you saw down there. It's hard to like explain this way, and so that's what kind of sort of gave it the first growliness. And then I just tweaked parameters to what sounded good. I'm not entirely sure what everything else does, but sometimes you'll need to. I have no idea what's going on here. Hold up. Okay. So I split the sound into high and low, and then I put a vocodex on the high end. Let's solo the high end first. So, let me do this. Hold on. Let me make it bigger so that I can show you. So, alone, the actual processing is so another vocodex again, because I saw what would happen if I put a bunch of vocodexes on it, and it made it sound better. This time we've bandwidth all the way up and the thing all the way set to male, and then I have the modulator bandwidth, pretty low. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to say there's another OTT here. I just slapped it on there and didn't even change anything. And then some compression for the high end, because it's supposed to only be the high end. So taking all of that out and then just putting this back, it becomes, and that's only the high end. Then the bottom half, so I'm gonna do this again. It's an OTT and a wave shaper. I wanted the low end to be more gritty and sustained and less like sort of weird, since the vocodex on the high end. I wanted the low end to be more like steady for the mix reasons. So I put it through its own processing just to make it more of what I wanted. So there's no DT and distortion. There's really not much to go over there. So it's... And then put together we have... Which is the start of the sound we get in the end. I put more distortion on the whole thing because distortion. Another OTT. Okay, that one has a performance hit that I assume I fix later. I might not. Then I have another vocodex because vocodex, as I said, I want this sound to sound like there was a bunch of vocodex on it. So I put a bunch of vocodex on it. This one has full bandwidth, full modulator bandwidth, female, and then order 2, I'm not entirely sure what that is. Same band distribution as the first one. I forget if the second one also had 17 bands, but we'll see. In fact, hold on. Let me go open up the patcher and see. That one had 47. So I'm not sure what happened there. I mean, maybe if I change it to 17, it'll sound better. Hold on. I guess I should do this with the rest of the processing, but, no, okay, I like the 47 more. Anyway, weird numbers. And then I high pass it so that the sub doesn't get in the way of the actual sub. Yeah, since there was some weird low end stuff. Specifically in like the super subby area, and I didn't want that. And then I EQ it out some more. This is specifically for mix, so other things go in the mids and the highs here. So I EQ'd them and made them lower. Then I put a Serum Effects. And this Serum Effects is adding just a little more grit through a downsample that isn't mixed in too much. Sorry. And then so that it's what makes it like more like 8-bitty, I guess. and then I put more compression. And then I assume I just left the performance hit. Yeah, okay, I just left the performance hit. The next thing... Okay, so this is similar to the sound I used in Ambush, where I just take a sine wave and I distort it with noise. This time I used a saw wave instead. And apparently I'm modulating a phaser with this. So yeah, that's like the entirety of the sound. Let's see, what's its processing? Oh wait, okay, I actually did some stuff here. You'll notice the theme here, there's a lot of vocodex, so. Yeah, that's the sound. And then I distort it more. There's a lot of distortion on this sound because that's kind of what it was meant to be. It's meant to just have like a super distorted feeling to it. I'm not sure why that fits in this kind of track, but it fit really well, so added more low end to it, or at least it made the low end like better. Applied another vocodex, male formants, modulator bandwidth 4 times. I'm not sure why. Hold on. Oh yeah, you can kind of hear the difference. And then bandwidth all the way up. I wouldn't think I ever changed anything over here because I should, but I'm scared of what'll happen when I do that. Just since I never do it and I don't want to ruin the sound somehow, because those have a drastic effect, especially like band distribution. You know? So I didn't want to mess that up. I high pass out low end for mix. And then do that all for mix. And I feel like in these tutorials I need to go more in depth on like my process and everything, but I can try this. As I said, these are the first ones. Don't expect something like super epic. But this song, I was listening to something that someone posted in the Camellia Discord, and I was like, huh, that's pretty cool. I want to make some sort of thing like that, which is why it's mainly this melody part over here that I'll get to in a moment. And I wanted something to complement it, and originally this was 195 BPM. So I had this drum pattern that was boom, psh, boom, psh, where I delayed, like I put this slightly off either beat that it would normally go on. And I thought that sounded good with the melody I had already. And then the basses were just kind of what I was hearing at the time. Again, there's like no real like methodical way to know like this is what to put here. It's just what you're hearing. All right, the next thing though. So this is actually no. Let's go to the beginning. You'll never guess what sound that is. It's literally just a supersaw with some noise and some distortion. Then I OTT it because I wanted there to be more high end, I think, and OTT was the kind of high end I wanted. Yeah. And then this is where the magic happens, this reverb right here. And then I have this fruity balance turned all the way up for some reason. I'm not sure why that's turned up. And then this one, I think, gets modulated. I might be wrong though. Nope. I just wanted that to be like as loud as possible. Don't ask me why. Oh yeah, and then a ton of EQ here. Again, just what sounded good. Alright, what am I modulating with this? That is a balance volume. Right, so it should be this, and like... I guess it didn't. Okay. Well, that's that. What is this? Is this also balanced volume? Hold on. It is a balanced volume. Where is the balance here? There is no fruity balance here. Okay. Well, and then I guess all the bass processing. Most of it's for the mixing. But I have a limiter. For obvious reasons. Actually, no, I'll just... 2, 3, okay. I did that like that so that one bass wasn't overpowering the rest, but I should have just turned it down in the mixer. Anyway, it makes everything have a more steady volume curve. I high pass it because I don't want the basses going into the sub because that's where the sub and kick live. And then I bring back some of the mid. I'm not sure why I do that. I'm really not sure why I do that. And then I put a phaser on it. The phaser is something I decided like really late into the song because I don't know. I just kind of felt like I wanted to experiment more. So I decided to put a phaser on the bass and I just left it in. It just kind of fit there. In terms of the compression, I'm turning the highs up slightly. And nothing else really. Yeah, nothing else. So nothing too special going on there. I guess we will move on to the chords now. That's a layer. It's pretty obvious what the 3 parts are. We have super overcompressed reverbed keys or whatever the heck that is. I'm actually gonna check levels here. I wanna make sure like it's not louder than my voice. It's way louder than my voice. Hold up. You've gone this entire time with it being like way louder than my voice. I accidentally almost closed OBS. That would be bad. So yeah, and then we have this super saw. And it's the thing that makes the chord sustained. And then I have a choir. Wait, no, that's not a choir. What? Okay, I have a music box. I thought I had a choir there. Oh, I think it's like the piano. Alright, so the processing on the piano is no DT on an impairment. Okay, that's some whack curve. I assume I just... Hold on. That is the wrong thing. I guess I just wanted to hear that part. Yeah, I have compression and that. The compression's what makes the like reverb part of it like really ring out. What the super saw is okay, I'm EQing it the same way. So I assume that's for mixed reasons since I've done it on two different things. And then the music box. I just EQ it the same way, but even more drastically. I guess that was the only way, not the only way, but I guess that's how I made it sit in the mix. Alright, the next thing. This is one of my favorite sounds in the song because it sounds pretty complicated, but it's not. So yeah, that's a piano. I mean, maybe if you know what it is, like when you listen to it, you're like, oh yeah, that's a piano with downsampling on it, but it's... And then I apply OTT to it. You'll see a pattern here. I just apply OTT to everything for seemingly no reason. Reverb because generally with anything that's not in the front, making it like you want it to all sound like it's meshing. So you don't want to apply too much reverb, but reverb on especially background elements works pretty well. Yeah, so it just made it sound more in the back, which is what I wanted. I didn't want it to overpower the basses. Then I have this where I just want there to be more high end and not as much low end. I wanted it to sound more spacey. And that's the downsampling. And then I EQ it more. I'm not sure what that was. That's a shape. I assume I just like wanted boosted high end, but I didn't want there to be like the super highs. Well, anyway, I did that, and that's a thing. What's going on with the actual MIDI is I have this arpeggio going with the main triad of the song, and then I add the 2, it looks like. Yeah, I add the 2, so it's a suspended 2, I guess. No, it's just an add 2. So it's an add 2. And then I keep playing the arpeggio without really adding anything. And then when we get about here, it starts playing a melody, which is... So the first... Well, okay. So it's 1, 3. So I skip the 2, and then I just follow the scale. And then I skip, I think, 2 notes. I think I skip C and... I don't know, I'm using a weird scale. No, wait, since this is harmonic minor, I'm only skipping the D. So there's a D that would go here, and that's the only thing I'm skipping. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 7. So essentially what this is just tonic, 3, so that sounds like the arpeggio, and then 4, 5 for like the melody part of it, and then 6, 1, 2, and then I go down. And the reason I put this melody here is so that you know it's about to change or like restart or something. And then it ends on the sharp 7, or I guess natural 7 for the tension. And then I have something similar here, but it's a descending line. So we have this really long arpeggio going up. So we have the minor 1 and then the major natural 7, which is kind of a tense thing. And so, but it's also in a way like sort of jazzy. I'm not sure how to explain the sound, but it's why this sounds like this. And then I have a descending line instead of an ascending line to bring you back to the 1. And then I adjust the volume of the piano to make it like come in and out where I want it to. See, I'll see it kind of swell, and then swell again, and then swell again, you know. And that's what I wanted there. I'll look at those in a moment. And then just to fill things, I put a cymatics perk at the thing. If you can't tell already, that's a lot of compression. That's like OTT Central over there. Ah, yes. Again, I put an OTT and did nothing to it, and then applied reverb. This is pretty standard reverb for me, honestly. I use reverb on a lot of things, and then I EQ it. It's kind of loud, though. And then we just have this. And this is exactly what it sounds like. Yeah. I'm not sure what happened at that part right there, but something did happen. Anyway, so what it is, a piano? You'll never guess. Actually, wait, is it going into the same insert? No, it's going in here. I have reverb. I have tape stop. Which, again, it's just what sounded good there. A lot of this, there isn't really thought behind it. And then I did the thing that I did with the other stuff. I boosted that one spot, and then I distorted it. And then I think I have distortion inside the piano. No, okay, it's this, and that's what made it sound so distorted. And then together it just meshes. Okay, I need to figure out what this is. I want to know what this is. Oh, you know what it is? It's, well, there are actually two things going on here, but the first one is, if you can hear, it's going to slowly, like, sound slightly different before it becomes a... So it's just to make that sound slightly different every time. And then I'm not sure at all what this is. Or this. Okay, let's start here. Reverb 2, default, what level? Okay. Default, reverb 2. What is this? Yeah, so that is the bass. So I guess over time there's just more reverb on it. And then on this bass I did... Oh yeah, I didn't go over this bass. I completely skipped it. That's cool. I mean, it's a basic. It's everything else. Like, this is the same. This is the same effects chain as like everything else, with the added like comb filter delay. If you know what this is. This is a very basic Harmer phaser bass. There's nothing to it. Look at this. There's nothing else to it except that Harmer. And I mean that phaser. And then this is what makes it sound better. More reverb, and then boost the low end. And then do the thing that the other EQs do. So sorry for forgetting about that phaser bass, but there it is. That's the thing. So then the rest of the song meshes. You'll see a very different thing going on in this mix than Ambush. This one's a lot louder. And then, okay. So let's pretend I didn't create the second half of the drop yet. Let's go back to the beginning. So again, my inspiration had this like clock thing, and so I was like, hey, where did you find that clock? And they gave it to me. The thing I use at the beginning of the song. So what it is it's a clock. Yeah. Nothing special going on there. And then I put reverb to it to make it just ring out and make it like fill up the space is the only thing. And then I do some minor EQ. Alright, now this line right here I think is exactly 17 measures. No, okay, it is 16. This is 16 measures and it has a pickup note. I think this is a simple melody. Let's see. I'm unsure. Okay, so it's just like 1, 5, 1, 6, 1, 1, 1, 6, 1, 4, 1, 3, 4, 5. That sounds a lot more complicated than it is. It's essentially just like it goes up, alternating on the 1, and then I have this counter at the bottom here that's just like a sort of bass line thing. And then I have the strings at the bottom, just to anchor the root down more. And then I have this really piercingly loud bell. It's some random Serum preset that someone gave me, and it's a bell. I don't even think I changed anything, because if it ain't broke, why fix it? So that's really that part. There's nothing special going on here. In terms of the bass line here, it's 1, 2, 1, 4, 7, 3, 7, 1. The main takeaway here is it goes 1, 7, and then resolves back to the 1 measure before the start of the next part. And then I have vinyl crackle. Where's my vinyl crackle? It is insert 31. 31. Reverb and EQ. Just so it fits in context. I don't know, it gives more atmosphere. I just, again, not much thought put into it. It's what I heard. So that's that. And then we get into the actual build-up. And essentially, this is the beginning melody plus the basses. Okay, well, we have the drums, but with reverb, and I think they're fading in on this audio clip. The other audio clip. And then I have this. I think this too. Nope, okay. That's for something else. I think it's actually for this. That's mainly just so that you know, like, okay, it's about to end. I don't know why I laughed there, but I did. Anyway. So, and then the actual basses, I think, go under the same audio clip. I might be wrong, though. No, okay, they go under this audio clip. I mean, yeah. I do that often, where I just reverb and low pass my basses. You saw it in Ambush, you see it here now. I know what this is. I just wanted something else to be there. It was mainly for the second build-up, where there's absolutely nothing telling you that we're about to have another drop, so I just put that there, so that you know what it is. It's that same bass that I use here, and then I just have it fade in. And then I put the main melody, the piano, because I really like the piano, the other piano, well, the glitchy one, the chord stabs, and then the clock, and then just a bunch of cymatic stuff over here. Cymatics. Yeah. I don't actually know how to make this kind of sound. It's probably something really simple, but why record it myself when I can just steal someone else's? They have a ton of reverb. That's about the only special thing there. So I mean, altogether, it's... You know what, I'll start from here. So a few things to say about this. I forgot to say earlier, the clock, I did sync it to tempo, but you'll see that it isn't steady. I think that's funny. Clocks aren't steady. The other thing is that this part is really loud, and then this part's even louder. So the reason that works is because it's quiet and then louder, and then the climactic part is really loud. And then I'm also only clipping the things I want to clip. Though I definitely could have clipped the main bass less. But because it's drowned out by everything else, it's fine. Then this is just like the build-up again, except without everything fading in. So it's essentially everything the build-up has, except the basses are actually the basses, not fading in instead of the build-up. Second thought, there isn't the clock. For this part, I wanted there to be a super long interlude. So you'll see, this is like half the song, right here. I just wanted you to have a big break after that one. And I felt like if there was a boring part, it would contrast the not boring parts. The main difference between what's going on here in the beginning is that we have the drums now. We have this thing, which is the... And then the main melody has a reharmonization. So the main difference is here. You'll notice that I have this descending bass line instead of what I had before. The reason I have this descending bass line is because it makes it sound sadder, which is what I wanted. And then I have this counter melody. Again, what sounded good. I basically hummed it to myself and then recreated it. So there's no real sense to this counter melody. If you came here for high octane music theory discussions, you came to the wrong place. Then we have the same thing, except I add the chords and I switch up the background stuff, so instead of it being the downsampled piano, we have the chords and the highly distorted glitchy piano. Which I noticed really far in, you couldn't really hear the piano at all, but I thought that was fine. Since, like, yeah. Alright, then I have an even larger break. I need to look at this to see what's new. Here. Okay, so it doesn't have the descending bass line, and there's just overall less. There's less layering going on, so it's more sparse. And then I put the vinyl crackle back. Yeah, I use vinyl crackle in this song, fun fact. Nothing different going on here, except, you know, I switched the background stuff like I did earlier. And then here, I essentially just wanted it to kind of come out of nowhere. So there's the really calm part, and then I just have it fade in. Like, you know something's about to happen when it ends, because it's been a while since something happened. And so I just felt like, since you were expecting it, I could just make it come out of nowhere, and it was better that way. This part has some different stuff going on. I wanted this part to sound a lot scarier. The first part was sort of sad, and the second drop is scarier. So this is just a crazy organization of this bass. I don't exactly know how I came up with these rhythms, but I did. I'm taking off some of the distortion. So it's essentially just a really haphazard organization of the main bass and the phaser bass. I still have the automations from before with the phaser on the phaser bass, so that it went down in pitch as it went on. I have this thing. You're familiar with that at this point. The chords, that thing again, and then this. Again, favorite part of the song, that right there. And then I have this. Hold on, let me... Why did changing that audio clip change it so much? Anyway, so I took that piano thing from before. If I can find where this... 27. So I took the main piano from before, well, that downsampled one. I did a lot to it apparently. Hold on. Let's take everything off this. We just have this now. You've never heard that before. It's the thing right below it. Then I add this, which I think is... No. I added a comb filter to it. Now it's super evil and metallic. That hurts to listen to on its own. Compress it. And then this thing just makes it go do do. Oh wait. So it's the main thing that's making it go do 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 do. But then I also apparently I chose one of the preset gross beat ones, and so it did something. I don't know, just added more glitchiness. EQ. Phaser. Again, all of these are what sounded good and what fit in the mix. None too special. The phaser adds a lot though. Vocodex, because everything else in this track is Vocodex. Let's keep it uniform. Reverb, because... And then I apply distortion at the very end. So you'll notice I skipped this one, and I wanted to go over it last. This is what makes it sound really, really, like, metallic and stuff, and, like, scary. I'm gonna play it all the way through, but if you look, like, really closely at this automation clip here, you'll see that it barely goes down at the end. As I said, like, I'm gonna play it all the way through, so you'll hear the effect that slight dip has. So you hear what that did. It essentially pitched it down at the end, and it made it super, super scary. And that's what I wanted. I wanted that to be scary. And then this is basically just copy paste. I don't really change much. Oh. The main difference is this thing right here, which is essentially just to tell you, hey, we're going back to the first drop. And then we have the first drop again. There is a slight difference though. And it's this spot right here. Actually, you know, no, I'm gonna play it all the way through. It's this bass right here that I just have go down, and then I cut this piano right here, and I actually really like this. I like the way that everything replays on it. I don't know, I like the way that works. And so I make that same cut through all of them. And that's about it for the actual arrangement and sound design for the song. Nothing's too complicated. Oh yeah, and then I just have a sub, you know, and then there's all just, like, things that were supposed to happen, but didn't work well. Like, I didn't like them, so I deleted them. And stuff, so there's a lot of the project file that just isn't there anymore. So in terms of actual mix and master now, I guess we're to that point. I have a symbol thing here. I didn't actually use any symbols, so I don't know why it's there. I already went over the bass rack, and then I have a bass MIDI for when I have basses that weren't synthesized yet. I'd route them to bass MIDI instead of basses. I mean, I high pass the synths. I'm really tired all of a sudden. Wow. Again, I high pass the ambience. And then kick and snare I already went over. And then the sidechain, I have a sidechain part of the sidechain. And then I also high pass everything in the sidechain. You'll notice a theme of high passing here. Okay, and then I actually have like mastering going on here. So I have this limiter. Well, you can't hear anything. Hold on. It's essentially just to eliminate anything that peaks too much, so that it doesn't peak too much. And then I have the tiniest EQ here. You can barely hear what's going on here. I'm not even going to play it for you because you won't be able to hear it. I increased the high end a little, and I increased the low end a little bit. I wanted the high end to be super twinkly, and I wanted the kick and sub to push more. And that's the only reason I did that. I separate the high end stereo. This one you will be able to hear. Since the high end usually just gets lost and overpowered, so I stereo separate it so that doesn't. I compress it, and I don't know, that's just another thing where I just tweaked it until it sounded good. The tiniest touch of reverb, just to make it glue together a little bit. More eliminating peaks. And then this is for... Apparently I took a cymatics thing and put it in there for some reason. Not sure why that's on there either. And then this is the visualizer. Thanks for watching, and I hopefully won't be tired at the end by the next time.